Have you ever sent a simple message and then spent the next 2 hours replaying it in your head? Was that too much? Should I have added an emoji? Why did they reply with just okay? And suddenly, what started as a normal moment turns into a full-blown mental movie, scene after scene, possibility after possibility, until you're exhausted and nothing has even happened yet. If that sounds familiar, you might be someone who overthinks everything. But here's the twist most people don't realize. Overthinking isn't just thinking too much. It's your brain trying to protect you, just in a way that backfires. Let me show you what's really going on inside your mind. Imagine your brain as a super advanced prediction machine. Its job is to keep you safe by scanning for threats, solving problems, and preparing for the future. For most people, this system works quietly in the background. But for overthinkers, it's like the volume knob is turned all the way up. Instead of one thought, you get 10. Instead of one possibility, you get 100. You don't just think, you simulate. You imagine conversations that haven't happened yet. You replay moments that are already over. You analyze tiny details like they hold some hidden meaning. And the strange part is, it can feel productive, like you're doing something important. But are you? Think about the last time you couldn't sleep because your mind wouldn't stop racing. You weren't solving anything, you were looping. The same thoughts, the same questions, again and again, just wearing different disguises. Psychologists actually have a name for this. It's called rumination. And here's where it gets interesting. Your brain doesn't always know the difference between thinking and overthinking. To your mind, both feel like effort, like control. So it keeps going, believing it's helping you avoid mistakes or pain. But instead, it often creates more anxiety. Let's say you're about to make a decision, something simple, like choosing a career path or even just deciding whether to text someone back. An overthinking mind doesn't stop at the obvious options. It zooms out, and then zooms out again. What if I choose wrong? What if this affects my future? What if people judge me? And suddenly, a small decision feels like it carries the weight of your entire life. That's not because you're weak, it's because your brain is trying to map every possible outcome in a world that's too complex to predict. It's like trying to play chess by calculating every move until the end of the game. Technically impressive, but completely impossible. And yet, overthinkers try anyway. There's also something deeper happening here, something emotional. Overthinking is often tied to a desire for certainty, a need to feel in control. Because uncertainty is uncomfortable, isn't it? Not knowing how someone feels, not knowing if you made the right choice, not knowing what's coming next. So your brain tries to fill in the gaps. It creates stories, assumptions, and what-if scenarios, not because they're true, but because having an answer, even an imagined one, feels better than having none at all. But here's the catch. Most of those answers are negative. Your brain doesn't just guess, it guesses worst-case scenarios. Why? Because from a survival perspective, it's safer to assume something might go wrong than to assume everything will be fine. Thousands of years ago, this helped humans survive. Today, it just makes you anxious about a message that hasn't even been opened yet. And this is where overthinking becomes exhausting. You're not just living your life, you're living dozens of possible versions of it in your head. You're having conversations that never happen, arguing with people who aren't there, preparing for problems that may never exist. It's like carrying invisible weight. But here's something important that doesn't get said enough. The same mind that overthinks is also incredibly powerful. Think about it. You notice details other people miss. You reflect deeply. You care about your choices, your relationships, your future. That's not a flaw. That's awareness. The problem isn't that you think too much, it's that your thinking has no off switch. It's like having a car with a powerful engine but no brakes. So, what do you do with that? Well, first, it helps to realize that not every thought deserves your attention. Just because your brain produces a thought doesn't mean it's true, or useful, or even relevant. Sometimes it's just noise. Imagine sitting by a busy road, watching cars pass by. You don't chase every car, right? You just observe them and let them go. Your thoughts can work the same way. But overthinkers do the opposite. They chase every thought, jump into every mental car, and then wonder why they feel lost. What if, instead, you just noticed? What if they're upset with me? Okay, that's a thought. What if I made a mistake? That's another thought. You don't have to solve it immediately. You don't have to follow it all the way to the end. You can let it pass. And I know, that sounds simple, almost too simple, but psychologically, it's powerful because it breaks the cycle. It tells your brain not every alarm needs a reaction. Over time, that changes how your mind responds. You start creating space between you and your thoughts, and in that space, something interesting happens. You feel calmer. Not because life suddenly becomes certain, but because you're no longer trying to control every possible outcome. And maybe that's the real shift. What if peace doesn't come from figuring everything out, but from accepting that you don't have to? Because the truth is, no one has it all figured out. Not the people who seem confident, not the ones who reply quickly, not even the ones who look like they have a plan. They're just better at letting go. So, if you're someone who overthinks everything, maybe it's not about becoming a different person. Maybe it's about learning when to stop listening to the noise and start trusting yourself a little more. Because underneath all that thinking, all that analyzing, all those what-ifs, there's already a part of you that knows how to move forward, quietly, simply, without overcomplicating it. And maybe, tonight, when your mind starts racing again, you'll notice it. Not fight it, not follow it, just notice, and let it pass. If this felt a little too familiar, you're definitely not alone. I'd love to know, what's something your mind keeps replaying over and over again? Sometimes just putting it into words is the first step to letting it go. And if you want to understand your mind on a deeper level, stick around, because there's a lot more going on up there than you think.